I'm going to turn to the acoustics now. Acoustics are... When I had my studio years and years ago, acoustic guitars were the bane of my life. And I could never get the sound that I wanted, and I used to do all sorts of cheating to get a good acoustic sound. One of my favourite things to do was I had an EQ that was like a match EQ. I can't remember which one was around at the time, but it was an EQ that matched one EQ to another. So you play it, your material, and you play a reference source, and you compare them, and it would tell you the difference between the EQ. And I used to really like the sound of the acoustic at the beginning of the Radiohead song Just. So I used to kind of either get in there and do it myself or get the customer to play some chords like that and then try and match the EQ, and it would give me a nice curve that I could then compress and make it sound good. But it was a total cheat, and I really struggled with acoustics. That and the fact that I was based in a railway arch, so if a train went over, I'd have to stop the take and start again. But we'll leave that aside for now. But yeah, I mean, really, the secret is parallel compression every time. And that's what no one told me when I was in my early 20s. But now I know that, and now it's easy to do in software. It's a total joy. So let's have a look at these first acoustics. So I'm just going to loop this bit round so we can listen to it over and over again. So these are two signals that at the moment, all I've got is, if I bring in that imaging plugin, that just makes them mono, because again, it's a stereo wave file with them panned left and right. And I've panned them wider than the electric guitars, 83 and 83, but not completely left and right. I used to be a lot more panning dead left and right of stuff, and nowadays, I don't know, it's just I want some stuff in the centre as well, so I like to sort of fan out different instruments at different places. I know it sounds basic, but it always sounds so nice. You're listening to headphones, you pan everything left and right, and it's all really wide, and as I've got older, I've gone off that. So let's have a listen. Over this, I've got nothing at the moment, so I had an EQ taking out some horrible bits and then having like a nice mid boost there. So I've got that one there is cutting something horrible. Yeah, there's a bit of nasty ringy stuff going on there. But I've got this thing where I boost one frequency with a really wide Q, and then I can tip left and right, and you can see the curve change. So if I turn it up extreme, you'll hear what I mean. So that's a real toppy acoustic. And then maybe not do as much as that. So again, take out problem frequencies and then you can boost. But boosting with problem frequencies in, I absolutely hate, because it just turns up all the nastiness. The other one that I took out here was a ring here. Listen to that ring. It's a whistle. Just isolate. So these guitars here are grouped to this group here with that EQ, and I'm also using my favourite SSL bus compressor just to get a little bit of compression over it. Again, high attack time, I don't want it doing too much. I mean, this is really subtle. It sounds beautiful. So I've got this here. If I turn this down now, that acoustic group, I've got this going here to the acoustic crunch group as well. Same as I did with the drums, that's going to the acoustic crunch group. But in this, I've got another EQ rolling off the very, very bottom end because I don't want that to crunch. And then I put a CLA-2A over it, and just, it won't overdrive it, but it will really compress it. I've just whacked this up. So way too compressed. I mean, that needle was just buried in it. But there's a lot of everything just sustaining for ages. I mean, the sustain that comes out of that that sort of what I call the crunch channel, even though it's not crunching that much. So if if I bring in the clean ones here, and then I turn down the crunch, we can bring up the crunch underneath it and just see how present it can be in the mix. So that's with it in the mix, it's without it. So now it just sits there. So if we were to listen to, I'm going to mute all the mute the Hammond, hang on, mute the piano, mute all the vocals for a second, so we can hear how this sounds in context with the music.